I love NowThis.
It's recording. We love you.
I love
We certainly
NowThis.
love you.
And NowThis.
So good.
Happy Golden Globe nominations. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live stream. It is very early on a Monday morning. Not as early as LA, thank God, but the nominations just rolled in, and if you blinked, you missed it. But what did you guys think so far?
I have a few thoughts. First of all, it is too early for this. Who decided 8 a.m. Eastern time? It's raining here. It's cold. My hair's frizzy, but we're here. I'm excited. This is kicking off my happiest time of year, award season.
Show. It's the acting Super Bowl. We are so excited. The Golden Globes really is the warm-up for the Oscars. But this one, it's a lot of categories. There's a lot going on because we're including TV and film. But today we're going to share with you some exclusive clips from interviews we've done this year. And we have Laria Freeman, who is going to break it down, all the nominations that have happened so far. So, Lou, what have you got?
Well, I was hoping these nominations would bring some sunshine to my day, but it's not looking that way.
No.
I'm going to run through these pretty rapid fire so you don't fall asleep on me. Best Motion Picture Drama, Irishman, Marriage Story, 1917, Joker, Two Popes. Best Actor Motion Picture Drama, Christian Bale, Antonio Banderas, Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jonathan Pryce. Best Actress Motion Picture, Cynthia Erivo, Scarlett Johansson, Saoirse Ronan, Charlize Theron, and Renee Zellweger.
Tight one.
Best Motion Picture Drama or Musical. Oh, Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, excuse me. Dolomite Is My Name, Jojo Rabbit, Knives Out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Rocket Man. Best Actor Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. Daniel Craig, Roman Griffin Davis, Leonardo DiCaprio, Taron Egerton, and Eddie Murphy.
Yay!
That was so good.
Best Actress Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, Awkwafina, Ana de Armas, Beanie Feldstein, Emma Thompson, and Cate Blanchett.
Aussie. Yes.
Yeah, oi, oi, oi,
Oi, oi, oi.
Best Director Motion Picture, Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Bong Joon-ho, Sam Mendes, and Todd Phillips.
Not a woman.
Not
A woman in sight.
Not a woman in sight in that category, and we
lot of
will get to that
testosterone
because
in
that
the
is
room.
shocking.
Yeah.
Is that all the nominees, Lou? We're
No,
gonna
we
go
gotta
sorry.
get through TV. We're not there yet.
We're not even there yet. All right, sorry.
Buckle up, you guys. Buckle up.
I'm doing it so you don't have to, I promise. Best TV series, musical or comedy. Barry, Fleabag, The Kaminsky Method, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and The Politician. Best Actor in a TV series, musical or comedy. Bill Hader, Michael Douglas, Ben Platt, Paul Rudd, and Rami Youssef. Best Actress in a TV series, musical or comedy. Christina Applegate, Rachel Brosnahan, Kirsten Dunst, Natasha Lyonne, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Best Limited Series, TV or TV Movie. Catch-22, Chernobyl, Boss Burden, The Loudest Voice, Unbelievable. You stressed, Sally?
There's so much going on.
I'm like
It's
so excited and nervous for everyone.
So,
Best Actor in a Limited Series or TV Movie, Christopher Abbott, Sacha Baron Cohen, Russell Crowe, Jared Harris, Sam Rockwell.
Oh, it's a Taiwan.
Best Actress in a Limited Series or TV Movie, Caitlin Dever, Joey King, Helen Mirren, Merritt Weaver, and Michelle Williams. Best Drama Series, Big Little Lies, The Crown,
absolutely. Yes, yes.
Killing Eve,
That
The
was
Morning Show, and Succession.
tight.
Best Actress in a TV Series Drama, Jennifer Aniston, Olivia Colman, we love, Jodie Comer, Nicole Kidman, and Reese Witherspoon.
Nicole.
And finally, last but not least, Best Actor in a TV Series Drama, Brian Cox, Kit Harington, Rami Malek, Tobias Menzies, and Billy Porter.
Wow, we certainly got some names in there. I know you got through that. Well done. I feel like we need a round of applause. Laria got through that.
That's a list.
That is a list. So initial reactions, feelings, what do you guys reckon?
Guys, the snubs this year are pretty
lot of
nuts,
snubs,
right?
yeah.
I mean, am I the only one thinking it? I feel like there are a lot of snubs that we're noticing this year. Mainly, for me, Pose, right? Which we've talked about so many years now. And it just slipped through the cracks this year with the drama series, with the morning show coming in. And I've actually talked with Stephen Canals, the creator of Pose, and he's been so candid and so honest about why it's so important. And we're going to share that with you guys right now.
When you consider the fact that last year there were over 500 original pieces of scripted content, and there were only 2 shows that center trans narratives, and that's Pose and Transparent. That's insane.
That was an excellent interview, Hunter, and all those interviews are available on our I Have a Question Facebook page if you want to go check them out after this stream. For me, I think the biggest snub was like listening to the directors and just hearing man. Lulu Wang from The Farewell and Greta Gerwig from Little Women were both completely snubbed. And as a woman, I'm standing up and saying no. What do you guys think about that?
Outrage.
It's nuts to me, especially after all of the conversations we've had. The golden, where are the women at?
I know.
They're creating stuff. Ava as well.
A lot of the excuses are usually like, well, if you want to see women, then give us the content, give us the movies. And they're giving it to you, and you're not recognizing them, you know? It's discouraging.
It is discouraging. And Lulu Wang was actually probably one of my favorite interviews this year. This was only her second film. She wrote and directed The Farewell based on her own personal experience. She told me she almost quit the film industry because it's really hard to be a woman. And not only that, she's an Asian American woman and she feels like she's constantly trying to define herself, or people are trying to put her in a box. Are you Asian or are you American? And the overwhelming thing I got from her is it's a joyful experience to be both. So let's take a look at Lulu Wang.
It took a long time for me to get to this place because as a kid, I just wanted to fit in. And so I was always negotiating between 2 worlds. You know, the part of me that is Chinese American, family, memory, nostalgia, food, culture. And then this other side of me that is an artist and is trying to find my voice in the culture, you know, that is very independent, very strong, very American. And I guess the movie was a way for me to bring those things together.
The Farewell was certainly one of my favorite films of this year, and it was nice to see Awkwafina getting nominated today. She was also nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. We saw her in her first serious role. What did you guys think of The Farewell?
I loved it. I was not expecting to connect to the story as much as I did. I have nothing in common with the story at all. But something about it resonates so much with so many people. And that's just a testament to Lulu's skill as a director. Again, going back to the fact that she was snubbed, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, I just love Awkwafina.
Yeah.
And I feel like we know her as this funny actress and she gives us these light roles, but it was also nice to see kind of the breadth of her acting, that she can do both. I loved that.
And the grandma, Sujin Zhao.
Oh, we love
She's so good. She got a Critics Award nomination.
She got nominated today, didn't she, for the Golden Globes? No?
Critics Choice.
But not Golden Globes.
Golden Globe. I know. So another stub add to the list. But one thing we can all agree on is that Hustlers really just knocked our socks off. And like we were talking about the other day, you just recently saw it. It was nuts
because, like, you know, you watched the trailer for this movie and I'm like, oh, it's another girls movie, like it's going to be funny or whatever. And this was one of the most incredible films I've seen this year. Jennifer Lopez getting a lot of buzz for this, same with Constance Wu. I thought it was just one of those movies that I really just enjoyed. It was entertaining from start to finish. And I know, Loria, you got a chance to sit down with Constance and Jennifer Lopez. So what was it like being in the same room as her? Like, really?
Insane. Couldn't breathe the entire time. Jennifer Lopez is amazing in this movie. And like you said, it's not what you think it is walking into it. And Jennifer talks a lot about that, how it really feels like all these other movies that we've experienced from men. And it's really coming at it from the stripper's perspective. And you can hear more about that from Jennifer herself in this interview.
So this is kind of going into the strip world from the stripper's point of view and seeing what that's like, the same way you went into the mafia, you know, and you had all these guys and you're like, oh, that's what it's like. It's just like dark world that kind of seems sexy but is also really dangerous and has a slippery slope. And for me, you know, those are really, you know, fun movies to watch.
Incredible interview, and I think, oh my God, we got to give her an Oscar or something for that pole dancing she did. And her body, she's 50. How?
She took a stripper pole with her everywhere for like 6 months to make sure she could always get her practice.
You know, that's nuts. I do the same thing.
He brought his pole with him this
I've
morning.
never heard of anyone else doing that as well. So good to know, J-Lo.
Rare
But
air.
one thing we got to talk about TV, you guys.
Yeah, I know,
mean,
I know. TV's included in this list as well. We're gonna
TV
talk
is having a huge moment, and I feel like the diversity with TV, the stories are all so unique and all so different. And one thing that is getting a lot of buzz right now is The Politician with Ben Platt. And Loria, you actually sat down with him, no?
I did. The Politician is really interesting because Ben Platt himself talks about how he's played a lot of these weird kind of introverted characters, and The Politician was a chance for him to get out of his skin and really try something different, but also taking on more LGBTQ roles where it's kind of a part of the tapestry. You don't really have to focus in on it. You can take a look at that for yourself in this clip.
I think that, Ryan took an amazing leap with Glee and having characters that were defined by their queerness and introducing characters like that into the mainstream and into pop culture. And now he's taking a very kind of natural progression, next step of that not even needing to be a self-conscious decision anymore and having it just be part of the tapestry.
We'll have to add that one to our binging list.
For
Hunter.
sure.
It was really good.
I mean, I just finished The Crown, so now I am
crazy.
freed up for anything. I'm taking suggestions. But The Crown, again, here we are,
Crazy.
another season, a new cast. Did they live up to the bar that Claire Foy, Matt Smith set?
We always thought, like, going into season 3, I think everyone was very nervous because the first 2 seasons, the acting was outstanding. Claire Foy really just nailed it. John Lithgow, I love Johnny. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. But they really brought it. I mean, Olivia Colman is the queen. How many times has she played the queen now? So many times. And she's nominated for the Golden Globe, which makes me so excited. Same with Helena Bonham Carter. How do you think?
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter.
Did I just swallow that? Helena Bonham Carter.
I know, we're all,
Helena Bonham Carter.
again,
It's very
we're
early.
still waking up, you
We
guys.
are
I hope
waking
you
up.
can sympathize. That's a hard name to say. I hope I can do it. HBC. I mean, she might play a princess, but in this role, she is also on queen level. I cannot get over both of their performances. I mean, they are just iconic. So good. And Tobias Menzies as well, who's playing Prince Philip. He got a nomination as well. I mean, this cast is something else.
And I think HBC, as you said, has also spent time with the actual royals.
She has.
So she had a little bit to pull from.
Her uncle had a thing allegedly with Princess Margaret. How nuts is that?
Do you think any of the royal family is secretly watching The Crown at home, thinking,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Meg-
exactly
yes.
how it went down, Anne. I remember that day very well.
Oh, no, 100%. Meghan and Kate are. I think the new royals are 100% watching it.
Yeah, the young, like William and Kate,
Yes.
Meghan and Harry, they're at
Yes.
home.
Megan
binging
needs to
The
know what
Crown
she's
like
getting
us.
into. She's like, let me take notes.
She's taking notes. Elizabeth's in the garden. Queen Elizabeth, she can't be bothered to watch that. No.
Lizzie, good
Yeah.
old Lizzie. All right, before we move into what I think was the biggest snub, I want to hear what your favorite TV show was coming out of this year. So our viewers at home, if they had one show to watch, what would it be?
It's a tough question, Sal. I'm going to say The Crown. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because it's freshest on my mind. I just finished, but it is so good. I mean, this season built on what they established in season 1 and season 2. And this new cast, they're so fresh. They're so talented. They're veterans. Icons. Don't know a better show.
Icons.
Don't know a better
Big
show.
one. All right, what about you, Lou? What's going on?
I mean, it hasn't been on that long, but The Watchmen on HBO
Lot of
is
buzz.
changing my life. It's
Whoa, changing your life?
changing
How
my
does a
life.
show even change your life?
It can
I
happen.
wasn't into
can
comic
happen.
books like that. And now I'm like, somebody buy me these Watchmen comic books immediately because I need to know all the
So
stuff.
it's
Everyone's
based on a
talking
comic
about it.
book.
It's based on, I think it's 12 issues of original comic book, and the creator, it's taking place after the comic books ended. So he went in a completely different direction. It's so original, so amazing. Regina King is fantastic in it. It's just, that's a snub, I feel like.
Regina
That's
King.
amazing.
Wow.
She should just be nominated every year, regardless of what she's doing.
Give her
she
all
gets
the awards.
speeches.
Regina, you have a reserved seat
Yeah,
every
you
year.
can come sit with us, Regina.
I think it really is a good year for TV and film. I don't know,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed a lot of things going on, but again, there are so many snubs with this award season. Golden Globes really is the warm-up for the Oscars. It's a strong indicator of who's going to be nominated for them. But I will say I was so excited when the Critics' Choice Awards came out yesterday because Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler, was nominated for Best Film and Best Actor. Guys, this is my favorite film of the year. It is not out yet, but it is Adam Sandler in like probably his best dramatic role yet. I had a chance to sit down with Julia Fox, the film's breakout star, who has never, ever, 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 ever acted before. The Safdie brothers were actually inspired to write this role for her. They'd been friends for a long time. She said, you know, I'm in the downtown art scene. They knew me. They kind of wrote this role for me. It was very heavily inspired by her actual life, but she's a very sweet girl and definitely an up and rising talent. So check it out.
When I got to set the first day, I was like, okay, well, now I tricked all these people into thinking I can act. So, you know, like, what if I get to set the first day and I don't know how? Or, like, I just freeze up or something. So the fact that I was able to perform and that everyone loved it, like, I just feel so, like, validated, you know? Like, I can do anything I really set my mind to.
I love that last line she said, you know, I can do anything I want. Like, who would imagine working on a film for the first time and your scene partner is Adam Sandler? Like, how the F would you manage to do that? Like, would you be able to do that?
I could barely get here and do this. No, I couldn't. Absolutely not. But it's such a good interview. And also her Valentino belt. Hats off to the stylist. That was a look, and I loved it.
Yeah, so Uncut Gems isn't out yet. Well, this is the funny thing about the Golden Globes. Like, a lot of the things we're going to be seeing nominations for films that aren't even out yet.
Right.
I know another film we're super excited to see is Bombshell. So what are you guys thinking? I know you haven't seen it, but what are we anticipating? We know there's going to be a lot of buzz coming up for that film.
I mean, Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman,
Margot Robbie,
all in the same film. Are you kidding me? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. I'm going to come out of the theater and my hairline's going to be a little further back. Like, I didn't think my forehead could get bigger, but it just might.
It's going to be stacked, and it's going to be interesting because they're playing these women that are kind of, I mean, I feel for their plights, but they're kind of hard to feel for. So it'll be interesting to see these actresses kind of take on their personas and get us there.
Absolutely.
And I think it was really cool. Been watching all the interviews, and we had John Lithgow in here, and they're all so excited about it. This is the first major picture that's come out of the Me Too and Time's Up era, which we have all lived through. We have all been reporting on for a while now. So to see it as a motion picture, something that just recently happened, is extraordinary. I know when John Lithgow came in here, he was super stoked, but he's like, this is a woman's movie. Like, this is about the women, and he plays the crisis, and it's all about how the different women respond to the crisis, which he plays as Roger Ailes. So we're coming to the end of the live stream, so we're so excited. If you are just joining us, we are live from New York City, baby. Going on.
Concrete jungle where dreams are copyright.
Yes, we only gave a handful of the nominations that have just come out. We are going to be leaving a link, I think, in the video below, so you can check it out yourself. If you didn't watch it live from the Golden Globes, it was rapid fire. So, Laria, Hunter, final thoughts on the Golden Globe nominations before we head out. What do you think?
I don't want to be that girl, but I'm going to do it. I'm disappointed with the film category. I thought it was very lackluster. It feels very, very male-centric. I don't know. TV? Yes. Let's do it again. So good. Iconic. Groundbreaking. Eat it. No.
Never been done before.
Never been done before.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for the whole thing, pretty disappointed. What about you, Lou?
I would echo Hunter's thoughts about the film category. Just, I would have liked to have seen more diversity there. And then in TV as well, I'm seeing a lot of people really upset about the snub for When They See Us, which was a huge moment in television, not only for Ava DuVernay, but also for the Exonerated Five. So for that to be completely overlooked by the Academy, it's kind of like, what were you watching?
Exactly. That wasn't a show. That was, again, that was a cultural moment that we all witnessed on Twitter, everyone talking about it, writing about it, exploring the history of these men.
And it propelled Jerome to all these other roles after he got the Emmy and things like that. So it's surprising not to see any love here for When They See Us.
I think there's definitely been a few surprises, and if you are joining us live, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of the Golden Globe nominations? It's very
Again, we're waking up. It's raining. I need more hairspray, coffee, Diet Coke.
There's a lot been going on, but we got through it together. We wanted to give you basically a recap of the nominations that we care about and share with you exclusive clips of interviews we've done this year that we're pretty proud of. We're so excited to be going into the awards season with you guys, and we're going to leave you with an interview from one of my favorite actors who's been nominated for Best Actor, and also Chernobyl has been nominated for Best TV Series as well. So thank you so much for joining us, guys, and please enjoy Jared Harris.
It's a story about an ecological disaster and the fact that it was made worse because they ignored the facts. They suppressed an inconvenient truth for a more favorable political reality.
Jared Harris, I have a question. You've had this incredible career, and one could say it's in your DNA. Both your parents were actors. So when did you first realize that you wanted to make this your profession and this was going to be it for you?
I'm still deciding. My family didn't think this was what I was going to do. And I was the middle child, so you're always fighting your corner as the middle, trying to create space for yourself. So I was always arguing. I think they thought I'd be a lawyer.
So you never had an aha moment, like you were on stage one time and you thought, I feel alive, my fire's burning, and this is it?
I went to Duke University and got into it there, and I enjoyed the nerves. I enjoyed the fear and being out in front of the audience and not knowing what was going to happen and how they were going to respond. And
is nerves something that still affect you today? Or?
Yeah, sure. First day before you start a job, you can't sleep. It's part of the fun of it, not knowing, and you can live these things out imaginatively in your mind, but you don't know if they're going to work till you actually try and do it. It's exciting, and sometimes it stinks. Sometimes you stink. You do a good job.
Was there a performance you're like, ah, shit, I didn't hit the mark there?
Yes, the trouble is, it takes me a decade to look at the stuff that I've done before I'm happy about it. I mean, there's some I haven't seen.
Have you watched Chernobyl in full yet?
Of course I have.
When the truth offends, we lie and lie until we can no longer remember it is even there, but it is still there.
What was your reaction when you first read the script? Did it come alive to you almost immediately?
They had me at HBO, but then I read it and wow, I just, for 20 pages in, it was just gripping. I was alive at the time, living in Europe, so I knew about what had happened, but I didn't understand what had happened.
And with every true story, there's kind of that added pressure and responsibility, if you will, to get it right. So how much research did you do before you took on this role?
He had been successfully scrubbed from the story, though, and it was quite hard to find specific information about him. And a lot of the stuff that I found ended up not being massively useful because he had a swagger about him and he had a confidence about him. And it wasn't useful to occupy that space because that's what Stellan was going to do. That's what his character did. And I had to occupy a different space for that relationship to work.
I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable. In terms of radiation, I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest x-ray.
No, Chernobyl is on fire.
And how did you connect to him? Are you a type of actor that needs to find something in that person that is in you also? Or do you have to like them? Like, what's your process of connecting?
The thing that connected me specifically to this character was the idea that he was a reluctant hero and that he wasn't brave in that sense. Traditionally, what you see with the heroes is they run into the burning building, and that's the first responders do actually. That you see in that first episode. He's not that. That interested me in a way because, I think we don't know how we're going to react when that moment comes. Are we going to run or are we going to fight?
Why do you think the audiences today are connecting with this story so much?
It's a story about an ecological disaster and the fact that it was made worse because people ignored the scientists, they ignored the facts, they ignored the truth. They suppressed an inconvenient truth for a more favorable political reality. it isn't difficult just to sort of look past the screen and see how it applies to what's happening now. I mean, that whole idea of the sort of the toxic effect of lies and what happens if you suppress the truth. We can deny what's happening about the planet as much as we want, but it's going to do what it's going to do.
So is one of the lessons you want people to learn, even governments and lawmakers, is to listen to what's going on in the planet and the environment right now?
Kind of going right back to what Goebbels put forward, which was that lie big and just keep repeating it. And then people will eventually start to believe the lie. And that's how you get people to believe what you want them to believe and ignore the truth.
And you have had just the most wonderful, glorious, versatile career, but looking back, what kind of makes you the most proud?
To be still working. I think I remember what is like the first acting teacher and director. His name was Richard Allmiller, and his speech to us before the first night we did the play was, at some point, the job you're doing is the last job you're going to do. It's the last play you're going to do, or it's going to, if you're on camera, be the last film you're going to do. You never know when that's going to be, so enjoy it.